The men from Nottinghamshire arrived later than planned due to an airline strike, but they hit the waters of Lake Washington on Thursday morning. The excitement level of this year's Windermere Cup race can be matched only by last year's thrilling finish in England.
By the last minute, we were just neck and neck for the last sort of few minutes of the race, and it was fantastic, really exciting. All been told us that it's so noisy that you can't hear the clock, can't hear anything. It's just bedlam, so it's going to be, I don't know, it's going to be hard to hear any of the calls, so it's just going to sort of play a little bit by ear. We were told it was a big event over here, and so we were pretty much looking forward to it. And then when we got here, they showed us the course, and Michelle told us there were going to be 100,000 people watching, so it sounded pretty exciting, yeah.
We'll see if the University of Washington can continue their impressive streak of victories in this Windermere Cup, this year against the British. Todd, back to you.
And we welcome you back to the Montlake Cut, ready for our final event of the day, the Men's Windermere Cup. The University of Washington in Lane 1, the Nottinghamshire County Racing Association in Lane 2, their lightweight 8, as Washington tries to, I guess in some ways, avenge the victory, although we're not exactly head-to-head, but this was the race a year ago in the Ladies' Challenge Plate at Henley. The Huskies lost to the British national lightweight crew by a foot and spoiled what would have been a perfect season. Have to be ready for a street fight all the way down. We have to go flat out all the way. He said if the Brits get a half-length lead early, that may be a key that we may be in trouble.
It's absolutely correct, because like I say, one thing about these people, they've got the endurance. They're not going to give up with their experience. A little choppy down there. There's some ambient waves that are rolling across the starting line there. I'm sure that's a little unnerving for both the crews, but they're off to a fair start. The further they come down the course, the flatter, calmer, the better the water gets. I'd say we're, Betsy, what's it look like to you right now?
I say the boats are very, very close together. The Brits do not have their half length that they might have wanted. The Huskies are right with them.
Yes, we're about 500 meters. And what happens? What do you tell your crews at the 500-meter mark? And then I'm going to tell you what I wanted them to say as a coach.
Well, you want to make sure you are on your rhythm. You've got to have the strokes per minute that you want settled into a nice, smooth rhythm. You got a lot more race to row at this point. So you've got to get under control. Make sure you know where you are on the race course.
You see, right now, the crews are going into anaerobic, I guess, excuse me, and that initial oxygen blast now is gone. So their whole systems go through that second wind phenomenon right now.
Here's a look at the lineup for the Nottinghamshire County Racing Association with their 8. Lindsey Wilkinson is the Cox. Jason Keys, the stroke, a Commonwealth Games champion. David Lemon in the 7, a world champ. Mike Lozado, an under-23 world champ. Alex Henshelwood, second in the lightweight 8s last year. James McNiven, a world champ in '94 and an Olympian. Aiden Tucker, Gareth Davis, and James McGarva, all U23 international champions, and they have full experience as well. A very talented crew from the NCRA. Lenny Robertson, the coach.
We're about 1,000-meter mark now, and it's a close race. It's anybody's race. Washington has accomplished their goal. They haven't let the Brits get away on that first 1,000 meters. Now, Betsy, here we go to that third 500 again.
We've got to really dig in. The Huskies need to come up with some move here, but they're right with them. It's nice that they're able to stick with the Brits at this point in time.
A look, Varsity crew has won the last 7 Windermere Cups, the last 8 Pac-10s, and won its 4th straight race at San Diego this year.
Well, they're sure
Go ahead, Betsy.
Setting up for another Windermere victory here as they pulled ahead as they've entered into the cut. They look good. It's a hard race, but they are rowing very well.
400 meters to go, and it's a boat length for the Huskies. And with Bob Cummings in that stroke seat, he's been there before. He's going to let the Brits take them on here.
No, the Huskies want this. You can see they're sprinting well. They're moving their boat well and staying long here. They know this race can be theirs.
And both crews are rowing well. I'm really impressed with the length, the composure of that British crew, but that's why they're so good. All these crews are really rowing very, very well.
The Brits are composed, but maybe even too composed. It looked like in the third 500, they waited for something to happen to them, and they didn't make it happen for them, and that's when the Huskies took the advantage.
See, and Washington's continuing to increase that margin this last 500 meters.
Oh, they're psyched now. They're in their cut. They hear the fans cheering for them.
Well, and it's not only that, but the noise out here is incredible. Helicopters flying over, people on the shoreline. These people don't need to be told what to do now.
Well, Bob Ernst said this home crowd was probably the biggest advantage that the Huskies had, and I think we've seen it come into play here.
Oh, it certainly has. And you know what a glorious day. What a great regatta. Just too bad it has to go by so fast.
The Huskies coming toward the finish line, ready to post another Windermere Cup victory, and they avenged the loss at Henley with a big victory over the Nottinghamshire County Racing Association. Time for the Huskies to celebrate with that win. Betsy, Dick, what do you guys think was the key to Washington coming up with this impressive victory?
Well, I thought they kept their stroke rating under control early in the race. They were settled nicely. There was a long stretch in the first 1,000 meters where the boats were neck and neck, and the Huskies just kept their poise. They knew they could do it. They didn't get scared by having the other boat next to them. This really is going to bode well for their future races this year.
Yeah, and they've already had some tough collegiate races down in San Diego, Cal, Berkeley. They've had a lot of pressure on them this year. I would suspect Great Britain, this is probably one of their first big races of their season. It's a little early for them. But no, these guys, they got some pretty solid goals in mind, and they just showed a lot of poise. They went out and did their work. Nothing fancy, but they just ground them down.
Bob Ernst said he wanted to see his crew row as if there were not another boat in the water at all, and I think that's really what the Huskies did today. Washington wins the Windermere Cup again. They get the victory over the Nottinghamshire County Racing Association in second place, and let's quickly go to Elise Nimala.